Hey there, this is Drew Kaplan. Welcome to my 12th edition of A Few with Drew. It's my Corona Teen project. Just a few minutes a day, I get to chat to a camera, put it on the internet. I am drinking a tea today. It's actually an Earl Grey, owing to, I just felt I was in the mood for a tea. It's the middle of the afternoon, not time, at least for me. Some of you out there may be time for alcohol, and definitely wasn't still coffee time. So I went with tea, and it also serves a second function, which is a bit of an homage, a bit of a tip of the hat to Gary Vaynerchuk, who's Tea with Gary V, his own Corona Teen project that he's got going on a pretty much daily basis, which provided the inspiration for this little series right here. So I'm enjoying my tea right now. And it's also, by the way, the very first time tea's made an appearance on A Few with Drew. I actually was kind of thinking for the 12th episode, wouldn't it be cool to have a 12-year-old scotch, but it's still currently Passover, so I can't have any scotch right now. I'm happy with the Earl Grey. I will say a new thing in my life is I started listening last night to an audiobook. It's my very first time ever listening to a Star Wars audiobook. I've read a bunch of Star Wars books, but this one, Dooku Jedi Lost, is really interesting. I'm learning about Dooku. It's also narrated by Asajj Ventress, which is really cool. I really enjoy Asajj Ventress' character in the Star Wars universe. And it's funny because my evening book that I read while I fall asleep is Master and Apprentice, which is about Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi, but Qui-Gon Jinn reflects back to his time under the tutelage of Count Dooku. So it's really fascinating getting two different, both a regular book and an audio book, hearing a bunch about Dooku, which is fascinating for the Star Wars universe. One other thing I want to mention is, yes, I still have this tree back here. Yes, that wasn't even the thing I was going to mention, but you're going to ask, like, what, the tree's still down? Yes, we had someone come and estimate it today, and we'll have it taken away on Friday. I'm super excited to see what I'm not excited, but curious to see all the damage that's happened to the exterior of our house here, and hopefully we can get that fixed up soon. Yeah, it was, and by the way, I can actually confirm it was a tornado that actually hit the area. Like, and it's funny, by the way, both our next door neighbors each had a full tree come down, so we had a half tree. It could have been a lot worse. It could have really hit our house a lot worse. So yeah, we had a real tornado on the first night of Passover. Definitely a night different from all other nights. My very first ever real being in a tornado and having a tree hit our house. That was something. Speaking of holiday, we do have power. It's great to have power back. I'm really excited starting this evening for the next couple of days. We're having second days of Passover and very excited to have electricity again. Totally underestimated, totally undervalued. I'm super excited to have that. One final thing, here's my final thing, which is I mentioned in my 11th episode of A Few with Drew that I'm very tempted and very curious, and if you have any questions for me to do more Star Wars videos, but I'm even thinking also in line of doing some Talmudic thinking, some thoughts on various Talmudic passages. Now, it could be a shots for shots sort of style. It could be a couple minute thing on Talmudic pieces, whether in general I have a lot of thoughts on a lot of different Talmudic texts, or it could be more specific to drinking texts in Talmudic and other rabbinic literature. So I'm playing around with that idea. I'm just sharing it with you here first. So with all that, l'chaim, even though I'm drinking tea, but l'chaim, and for all those you celebrating Passover, well, Chag Sameach for the final days. Chag Sameach.